Here is the Nendoroid of Tanjiro Kamado from Demon Slayer, or Kimetsu no Yaiba if you call it that. And this is of his final selection version where he does the whole exam. And that difference is basically the haori, or his kimono top, the blue top basically, is going to be in a light blue with a cloudy pattern. And one of the main things I was drawn to with this anime is the way it looks. Now, I enjoy the anime. I wouldn't classify myself as a big fan, like a huge hardcore fan, but I enjoy it. But yeah, one of the main things that I really took away from the anime as well, I think a lot of people did, is all the characters have really nice, really pretty looking haoris, and Tanjiro Kamado's ones are no different. So this is, again, his final selection version. So he has this version of it, whereas his general version in the anime and his go-to look is like the check pattern with the green and black squares. But different characters have different ones, and this is a really nice one. And this figure itself is actually an Aniplex exclusive, I believe, some sort of web exclusive in Japan. It's a little bit trickier to get a hold of. And this one is, I believe, the reissue as well. So the at least reissued it a couple of times, so I managed to just pick it up, at least this one anyway. I haven't picked up any of the other Demon Slayer figures, but packaging wise, as you saw, is pretty much the same as every other Nendoroid packaging. Size is still compact nowadays, and then it gives you a nice window to see the actual figure, some of the parts it comes with. The top has some pictures, and then other sides all have pictures of the figure as well, so in different poses and stuff. So pretty good stuff overall. But let's have a look at what the actual figure is like inside. So here's the figure of Tanjiro in his final selection outfit and the option parts that come in the box. So we'll go through the option parts first, and then we'll take a look at the figure. So skip ahead if you want to go straight to the figure. So starting from the option parts from outside, and we'll start with the two effect pieces. The first one is going to be his water breathing style effect piece, like so. Looks pretty simple, like it's got a nice scythe looking shape to it, which looks okay. Looks good. And once you actually attach it to the figure and have it displayed like that, it looks quite cool as well. So you got a little slot here that you put the half blade, or not the full sword that you can see down below. They slot that in there, and then this actually rests on this little stand. This second effect piece here is the fire breathing, I think it is. Well, it's a fire piece obviously, but yeah, so this one isn't actually really relevant for this particular figure. This is going to be more relevant if you've got the regular Tanjiro, which is in his green and black checkered outfit. So this one is more applicable to that. So they've given it in this figure, and it's not just the only thing included in this figure that goes with that regular version, but this one is cool either way. Nice cool flame effect piece here. So similarly, you've got a little slot here, a little opening where my thumb is, and then you put the blade in, and then you can have the rest, this piece resting on this little stand bit here as well. Then we'll talk about his hands and limbs. So you've got the two fists already attached on straight arms there, and then you get extra ones. So he only actually comes with one additional left hand, and then we'll go through the arms as well with that. So here we've got an alternate right arm with the right hand. So this right hand is going to be one to hold the actual sword with if you want to. So this one's more like just a straight holding one, and the arm is at a more like a right angle position there. So he kind of just holds it at a right angle to his side. So it's got the same sort of cloud design on the sleeves there as well, and you can see the black sleeves at the end of the hands. You can just take it off like so and swap them in. So they're not pre or one piece. You can swap the hands in and out for all of the various kind of limbs. Got the left arm of him as well, which is also going to be same with a slight right angle there, and then the other arms he has, they're still straight, but they come closer, so he's going to end up being more in a holding the sword ready position, like this for example. So this hand here, you can see it still grabs the sword, but it's at an angle. So this is the hand that you would use with this arm, the straight arm there. So this hand with that arm, that will be the best way to have him do the water effect piece in use, or just a striking pose. Otherwise, yeah, like I said, this arm itself is more coming forward from the body across his chest. So similarly for the left arm as well, and then he comes with this hand here, which is just quite relaxed, to be quite honest. But again, you can just pull the hands off like so. You get the remainder of the sleeve cuff at the wrist there, and then you can just plug it into each other one. So swap them as you like. Then we'll talk about his blade. So this is his first training sword that he has, relevant to this outfit. You don't want to snap it, so just be careful with it. But you can see the hilt is going to be a different shade to what he normally has, different kind of guard design as well to what he normally has. So this is his practice sword, and then for that practice sword alternative is going to be this one here, which is going to be in the actual sheath itself. So you can actually take this bit off like that, so you can have him equipping the actual blade, and then have this on the peg hole you can see here attached to the side of the figure. So that's cool. And then just put it back if he's not going to be holding his sword. So quite simple to do that one. I'll put that the wrong way around, should be this way. So it's going to be all in one smooth, clean arch, as you can see, like so. Pretty cool. Otherwise, when you do peg it into the figure, it does have a knack to sometimes fall off. And if you're kind of patient with it. You can use this as a third leg to have him balance a little bit. Depends on the pose. He doesn't really balance on his own so greatly. Continuing with the sword, so he comes with a piece like this. So this is again his practice sword, and then it's broken off here. So this is the bit that actually goes into this piece here, like so. It will be this way around actually. So just plug that in there, and then attach the hand, and then attach it to the actual figure. So we'll get into this in a little bit more later on as well. Originally, I thought that the whole sword, the full sword, could go in, but it actually stops short. So I can show you that here. So it stops about there, which I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Maybe, I guess if you put the whole blade in, or they allowed for it, then there's a huge risk of this blade piece breaking. So yeah, but whereas with the flame effect, the whole blade fits into it. So yeah, I would say don't run the risk, just use this to put into the actual effect piece. Then this figure also comes with the black Nichiren sword that Tanjiro has later on, so after his final selection exam where he's wearing this. So this actually is more relevant to the regular edition Tanjiro figure in his green and black, as I mentioned before a couple of times. So this version here is, you can see he's got the black hilt there, and then the wagon wheel type of guard. So the wagon wheel guard doesn't have gaps in it. You can see it's just one piece that's kind of molded in a little bit. So he's got the lines going into the center bit. But yeah, then it breaks off here again. So this is going to be similar to the water effect piece that I showed you. All you got to do is plug this in to the tip here, like so, and then attach it to whichever hand. And then if you've got the relevant figure, then it works. I mean, you can still do it with this figure. Nothing's going to stop you from doing it. But in terms of canon, he doesn't use the flame effect until afterwards. So it's there, but these are pieces to kind of buy this figure so you can have extra pieces for the regular edition Tanjiro Nendoroid figure. Then we'll come into his faces and we'll focus on the right one first. So this one I'm focusing on just because it's more relevant in terms of time and canon to this whole final training gear outfit. So you can see he's got that scar there which matches up with this one. So this face is a very, very kind of shocked kind of expression. It's not sculpted with the nose there, so it's really cool, quite cute as well. Just be careful with these little tags on his ears. So these are sturdy, but on the alternate face I've already damaged one. So just be very careful with it. So when you place the figure on, swapping the face or moving the arms, and you knock this, you do run the risk, small risk, of knocking this and damaging that permanently, potentially. And I'll show you a little bit in the next face. So in this next face, this is going to be another piece that's actually more relevant to the regular edition Tanjiro in the green and black check outfit. So this one is with the alternate scar here. So you can still use it. Nothing's going to stop you from using it, but it wouldn't really make sense in terms of canon look, I suppose. But yeah, they've supplied it anyway. So quite a few different pieces that aren't that relevant to this figure, I've noticed, but they're still cool nonetheless. So this facial expression is going to be used for a little bit more of a worrying pose or a frightened pose. A couple of different contexts that you can potentially use it in. Again, nice application on the eyes and the scar, all clean, very nice profile design as well. You got the tags again on the ears. Just be careful with those, as I mentioned earlier on, and I'll show you a little bit of the damage. So hopefully you can kind of see if this wig was a bit, and then it splits at the bit at the ear. So part of me is just like, I want to rip it out and just super glue it back. Once I super glue it back, you're probably never going to notice, but just still be careful that you will, if you knock this, you run the risk of actually breaking it. Whereas I would have just preferred if it was just on a peg like Bayonetta's earrings. It was just a peg that went into the ear. These ones, I'm not sure if there's still a peg that go into the ear, but the way they fit is too snug that it ends up being damaged potentially. So word of warning, watch out for his ear tags. Now before we get fully into the figure, it does come with a spare neck joint like so in the same sort of flesh tone, and then it does also have the good smile face there. And then this guy has a much bigger base stand than most Nendoroid figures come with. So this is the first Nendoroid figure I've got, I think, that has a base stand that's actually this big and this size. Bit strange, but I guess they needed it for the effect pieces that are accompanying this guy. Now, as I mentioned, you do also get this little piece here, and this is to balance the effect pieces. So depending on how you're going to do it. So for example, this guy, if he's going to do using the water breathing technique, then he's going to come this way around. Then it can just rest like so. Do it like that. However you want to do it. I'm just going to work it like, you can just do it like that. You can clip it in as well. So if you're going to do the flame one, then this one, I guess you can just slip that in like so, and then it should hold it. Play around with it a little bit, and then you'll get a decent kind of angle with this as well. So it's a nice little extra bit to give you, so you don't have to worry about getting a pile of books or something to rest those on. So this just a little bit, and then it plugs into any of these holes as well. Otherwise, the rest of the stand works as any other Nendoroid stand does. So you get the actual archy bit here that bends, and then that goes into the actual back of the figure itself. Now then, speaking about the actual figure, it's a very cool, really nice looking Nendoroid figure. What attracted me most about this being Tanjiro, I like him as well, but it was the outfit. I like that it was his training outfit and not his traditional main outfit that he uses, the green and black checkered outfit. So I like this haori design that is going on, just with light blue and then clouds. I like the blue. I like powder blue, if you like. Really cool looking design. And then you can kind of see as well that he's got the wraps around his legs. They're teeny weeny legs, so I've got him on the stand most of the time because he can't really balance on these teeny tiny feet of his, but it's cool nonetheless. But going back up top, so you see his big eyes there in a nice reddish color, really cool. And then his scar there, the original scar that he has, just a basic smile, nice profile as well. Again, beware of these little earring tags of his because they could get damaged. His hair is amazing. I love the color of his hair. I love how that's come out for this Nendoroid. It looks really nice, different shades going on across it, and hopefully you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. It looks great. I mean, depending on how you're going to have this on your shelf and the way the light hits it, yeah, I think it's going to look great. I just love the hair color. It's really, really nicely done, honestly. And of course, you've got the fox mask here. Is it fox mask? Correct me if I'm wrong. We got the mask here, plain white, so just be careful with it. You might end up getting some like discoloration, dirt on there because of how white it is. So when you do handle it, best to handle it mainly at the body, and then when you do change its face, you are going to have to pull it or put your thumb at this bit and then pull it off, so that just to be careful with that. But otherwise, really like the way this Nendoroid has turned out. He looks very adorable. But yeah, it's not an articulated Nendoroid like the Sora or in Kingdom Hearts other stuff is, which is a bit of a shame. I'm really more into the articulated Nendoroids now, whereas these, because you swap out the arms, I just feel it's a lot more fiddly. Just my opinion, but they still look plenty adorable. Now speaking of articulation anyway, so he can move his head down and then up a little bit like so, and then looking either direction. And then the arms do go up and around. Just again, be careful of the tags, especially. They will clip into his hair, but just be careful of the tags especially. And then same again with the other arm like so. And then you got the twist, as I mentioned earlier on with the hands. You can swap these hands in and out, which I'll show you. You got the twist at the torso here, just one little twist there. And then the legs do move. They're on little joints like that. This is the first time that's come out, but it's usually fine just on the pegs. They do move like so. This is slightly softer down here on his haori, but still plenty of obstruction, as in it's not great in terms of articulation, but it's enough with the kind of proportions of this figure. The limbs do come out a fair bit in my opinion, so you just kind of have to deal with it. If yours are too loose, just try and add a little bit of tissue paper to give some additional friction. But otherwise, yeah, you can see his legs do twist a little bit there and they come up, and I'll keep pulling it up too much so the actual limbs come off, but you can see they move like so. So you can get slight kind of running poses if you like. And then that's about it for his feet. And then there's a little twist at the wraps there near his calf, and that wraps up or his articulation. So let's get into swapping parts. So we're going to start with the face first. So as I mentioned, you're going to have to touch the mask here and then pull at the sides of his head. Now just be careful that you have cleaned your hands and your fingers, because you don't want to get this mask dirty. Just pull off the top of the hair and then you get access to the faceplate. Just pull that off. Now same thing again, just pull it off here. You don't want to pull off down below at the tags in case you damage those. And then let's just replace it with this one here. So this is going to still be relevant to this particular time frame where he's wearing this outfit. Plug that in there. As you push it in, same again, just be mindful of the tags. Now I keep saying be mindful of the tags, but I have a sneaking feeling that I might end up breaking them as I film this video, or yeah, that would be kind of sad. But anyway, we put the face back on and it looks pretty good otherwise. And then same you can do with the arms. You can take these off. Again, mine do come off quite easily, and then we'll swap it actually with the one that kind of sits a bit more close to his torso. So as you put them in, you can see I'm kind of clipping already his ear tag. Just shift his head slightly, keep your other hand secure on the main body, and then add the arm in. Now we've already got the sword hand attached, that's okay. You can add the sword in beforehand or right now if you want to. I'm going to add it in right now. So just slip that into his fingers and his thumb. And there we go, he's now equipped with the sword. And then finally we can add the scabbard, which was sitting right here. So we're going to take off the bit here, the handle here, drop that down below, and then let that sit in there, plug that in. There we go, so it completes the figure completely there. But what I'll do is I'll swap this out and then I'll put the actual effect piece in. So we need to go find this one, we'll grab this. Again, slip it into his hand. You can use either one. I'm going to stick with the same hand. And all you got to do is attach this like so. So for the sake of this demonstration, I'm going to keep it straight like this rather than horizontal, so you can see how it is. Because if you do it horizontal, you have to move it a bit. And that usually happens. So I'll reattach his arm. Again, being mindful of his tags on the ears, and then let's move his hand around so you can kind of get a horizontal look, and then slip that hand back in, and then you can see. So for this actual arm, it kind of balances okay, and the other arm is balancing the effect piece. But if you did use the straight arm, you are going to have to balance this on something else, i.e. this little piece here that they give you. But you can kind of see where we're going with the effects piece added in. It looks cool. So yeah, play around with some of the option parts that they've given you. Make sure you attach it to this stand again so it's secure. And then yeah, you should hopefully get a nice cool display out of this figure. Even though I consider myself a casual Demon Slayer fan, I think this Nendoroid has turned out really well. The main reason I picked this one is because of the powder blue. Haori, I think powder blue is really nice color. And I just wanted that versus the regular green and black version of it. So the only thing with this, I think, is some of the parts here, or quite a few of the parts, are more relevant to that version of Tanjiro, where the scar change in his post-selection exam, where he's, graduated, let's say that for lack of a better term. So I think that's kind of like a little bit disappointing for me. I would have preferred more relevant parts. Here, maybe he had the little barrel or something that he used to pick charcoal with. That would have been quite interesting to have as well. But otherwise, I think this Nendoroid is still quite adorable. Nendoroids to me are very, very adorable. I don't know if I'll get any more Demon Slayer Nendoroids. We'll see how that goes. I may pick up one or two down the road. For example, those characters with the butterfly looking haoris, those are really cool looking. But we'll see. If you're a big Demon Slayer fan, I think, yeah, these are pretty good gets. I think go ahead and enjoy them. I particularly prefer the articulated Nendoroids now. But, if you're a big fan, these are still very adorable figures to have in your possession and in your collection. So have at it and enjoy it. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed a look at this version of the Tanjiro Nendoroid figure. Let me know if you got either version and what you thought of it. Otherwise, happy demon slaying. I'll see you in the next one.